Imagine a moment in the dark, where the world fades away, and only two souls remain, tangled, vulnerable, raw. In this quiet space, where desire pulses like a secret drum, there lies a truth far greater than lust. Have you ever wondered why you're drawn, so intensely, to certain fantasies or sensations? Why some touches ignite a fire, while others leave you cold? You might think it's just biology, a simple, primal urge programmed into your DNA, but that's only the surface. Beneath the skin, under the flicker of candlelight, desire speaks in a language older than words, older than culture, a language that tells a story about who you are, what you fear, and what you long for. What if I told you that the roles you play in intimacy, the way you surrender or dominate, the specific things that stir you, reveal hidden parts of your psyche? Parts you've never dared to face. The truth is, your sexual desires are a mirror. A reflection of your wounds, your power struggles, your secret hopes. They're not just about pleasure, but survival, identity, and sometimes, redemption. So, lean in, listen closely. Because the map to your soul might just be traced in the contours of your deepest yearnings. Emma sat alone, the room dimly lit by the flickering flame of a single candle. She wasn't alone in the house, her partner was asleep just down the hall, but right now, she felt utterly, achingly alone. Not because of absence, but because of a secret she couldn't share. For years, Emma had carried a burden, a private part of herself she tucked away beneath layers of normalcy. She wasn't the type to speak openly about her desires, especially the ones that made her blush in daylight and tremble in the shadows. You see, Emma craved submission. Not just in the bedroom, but in the way she allowed herself to be vulnerable, to let go of control. It was her sanctuary from the relentless pressure of her daily life, where she was expected to be strong, unwavering, the pillar for everyone else. "Why do you want to give up control?" her best friend once asked, puzzled. Emma didn't have an answer then. But tonight, as her fingers traced the worn leather cuffs on her nightstand, she felt something else, something deeper. It wasn't about weakness. It wasn't about helplessness. It was about trust. About surrendering the armor she wore to a person who could hold her without judgment. Emma's story isn't unique. In fact, it's the story of many who wrestle with the paradox of power and vulnerability. Who are we, when we strip away the roles society demands? What parts of ourselves do we reveal only in the quiet, hidden places of intimacy? Tonight, we're going to embark on a journey through the psyche of desire, where every fantasy, every preference, is a doorway to understanding yourself on an entirely new level. 1. Desire as a psychological compass. Sexual desire isn't just about bodies, it's a signal, a compass pointing to our inner landscape. Just like dreams, fantasies whisper truths about our unconscious mind. They reveal our fears, our hopes, and often, the parts of ourselves we hide from even our closest friends. Imagine desire as a shadow self. A part of you that thrives in darkness, beyond the gaze of public scrutiny. It carries the weight of your childhood wounds, your unmet needs, and your wildest hopes for connection. For example, someone drawn to dominance might be unconsciously trying to reclaim power lost in early life experiences, a childhood where they felt invisible or powerless. Conversely, someone who craves submission might be seeking relief from the crushing weight of responsibility, a temporary escape from the harsh demands of control. 2. The dance of control and surrender. Power dynamics in intimacy are rarely about sex alone. They're a metaphor for our relationship with control in life. Consider the analogy of a tightrope walker. Some walk the line with steady confidence, craving control over every step. Others long to let go, to fall safely into the net below. Sexual roles often reenact this tension, dominance as the tightrope walker, submission as the safety net. But here's the twist: the safety net isn't weakness, it's trust incarnate. To submit is to say, I believe you won't let me fall. And to dominate is to answer, I will catch you. In this way, desire becomes a profound psychological dialogue between fear and trust, control and freedom. 3. Fetishes, the mind's secret symbols. Fetishes are often misunderstood, seen as quirks or oddities. But in truth, they're rich symbols rooted in our unconscious mind. Take, for example, a fascination with feet. Feet are literally the foundation we stand on. Fixating on them can symbolize a yearning for groundedness, stability, or connection to reality, or it can be a subtle expression of power play, worshipping the foundation as a way of elevating or submitting. Or consider leather or latex, a fetish for textures and sensations that evoke strength, protection, or transformation. These preferences are more than physical, they're emotional signposts pointing to our internal needs. 4. Roleplay, the theater of identity. Roleplay is not just about spicing things up. It's a stage on which we act out parts of ourselves that remain hidden in everyday life. When someone slips into the role of a daring adventurer, an authoritative boss, or a tender healer, they're exploring facets of identity that reality often suppresses. This is a form of psychological play and experimentation. It allows us to try on new selves, to heal old wounds by rewriting the script. Think of it as a rehearsal for becoming more whole. 5. Attachment styles as desire drivers. Our earliest bonds shape how we seek intimacy later. Attachment theory explains how secure, anxious, or avoidant patterns manifest in sexual preferences. Anxiously attached individuals might crave intense closeness. The desire to be consumed by their partner's attention, sometimes leading to submissive roles that emphasize vulnerability. Avoidant individuals might prefer physical distance or less direct intimacy, finding comfort in fetishes or roleplays that allow connection without overwhelming emotional exposure. Secure attachments create a playground for varied exploration, where desire flows freely without fear or shame. 6. The ego wound and sexual expression. Every one of us carries ego wounds. Painful memories that shape self-worth. Sexual preferences often become coded expressions of these wounds. For example, someone who felt rejected for their natural desires may find themselves drawn to taboo or fringe kinks, not because they are deviant, but because these acts symbolically reclaim what was denied. Sexual desire, here, is a form of resistance and healing, a way to say, I am worthy of pleasure, even if the world said no. 7. The shadow self and desire's dark mirror. Carl Jung spoke of the shadow, the parts of ourselves we refuse to see or accept. Sexuality is one of the richest domains where the shadow lives. Those desires that shock us, confuse us, or fill us with shame often belong to the shadow. But embracing these shadows, gently and without judgment, is essential for integration, becoming whole. Desire, then, is an invitation to face your darkness, and find light within it. 1. Trauma loops and erotic repetition. Why do some people find themselves replaying the same painful patterns in love and desire? This is the trauma loop, a psychological cycle where the brain unconsciously seeks to master old wounds through repetition. In sexuality, this might manifest as attraction to partners who recreate familiar pain, or masochistic tendencies as a way to regain control over trauma. It's not masochism for masochism's sake, but a desperate, unconscious attempt to rewrite the past. Understanding this loop is the first step toward breaking free. 2. The illusion of identity in desire. Our sexual identity is often mistaken for a fixed truth. But desire is fluid. It shifts, morphs, and evolves with our inner growth. Sometimes, clinging to a rigid sexual identity can trap us in limiting narratives. I am only this, I only like that. But what if your desires are more like a river than a rock? Allowing yourself to flow with your evolving desires can be terrifying, but also liberating. 3. Cognitive distortions and sexual shame. Many carry distorted beliefs about their desires. I am broken, I am dirty, this is wrong. These cognitive distortions poison the well of desire, turning what should be a source of joy into shame or guilt. Recognizing and challenging these distortions is crucial. You deserve to love yourself, exactly as you are, desires and all. 4. The paradox of vulnerability and power. Vulnerability and power are not opposites. In intimacy, they dance together. Real power often arises from the courage to be vulnerable, exposing your true self, without masks. Sexual desire is the battleground where this paradox plays out most vividly. 5. Philosophical reflections. Desire as the drive for wholeness. In existential thought, desire is a longing for completeness, a search for the missing part that will make us whole. Sexuality, then, is an expression of this profound human quest. Every kiss, every fantasy, every secret longing is a step on the path toward finding ourselves, truly and deeply. So, how do you step into this shadowy, beautiful terrain of your desires, without fear? First, slow down. Sit with your feelings, without rushing to judge or control them. Ask yourself, what am I really seeking in this desire? Is it connection? Safety? Power? Escape? Allow yourself to name it, to breathe it in. Second, practice radical self-acceptance. Your desires are part of you, neither shameful nor perfect. They are signals from your soul. Third, find safe spaces to explore. Whether alone or with trusted partners, create environments where consent and respect guard your vulnerability fiercely. Fourth, reflect on your past. Notice patterns, wounds, and moments where desire intersects with pain or healing. When you understand the story behind the desire, you reclaim your power over it. Finally, embrace fluidity. Your desires may shift. And that's a sign of growth, not failure. This journey isn't about fixing yourself, it's about becoming more truly yourself. Desire is a mirror held up to the soul, sometimes cracked, sometimes shining bright. It reflects the parts of us we celebrate, and the parts we fear. But what if, instead of running from it, you leaned in? What if your deepest, most secret desires were not a curse, but a key? A key to unlocking the chambers of your psyche, to healing long-forgotten wounds, to embracing the fullness of your being. I want you to sit with that thought, in silence. And ask yourself, what is my desire trying to tell me? Not just about sex, but about me. We're all searching for answers in the dark. Maybe, just maybe, the answers lie where the light meets shadow. If this resonated with you, share your thoughts below. Because your story, your truth, matters.